everybody. Welcome to my world with Nat, Relocation Concierge here in the DR. I hope you're doing well today. Well, we were supposed to meet at the Trio Snack Shack last week, but somebody decided construction was a must on a Saturday. So Meghan joined me today live, well not live, but recording on our patio here in Cabarete. So thanks for being here for this episode.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you came down here with one plan, but something clearly changed a couple of things changed along the way. And I think it'll be really interesting to share with viewers exactly what the mindset was on coming down.
Yeah, so my business partner and I, Kate, we own a online business management firm. It's called Wildly Digital. And we've been, Wildly Digital. We can make cups for you if you want a cup. we have contacts. This is one of the things we do for our clients and stuff, is help get that stuff organized. So, we've always wanted to live in another country. Yes. We came
Warm
here,
country.
Warm country.
Yes,
oh my goodness.
Let's get specific.
No winter. Winter is not.
It's overrated.
So overrated. So overrated. We come down here before COVID, and fell in love with the country, and then COVID hit. Literally, we were here in the Dominican the week that COVID hit. We flew back to Canada the day that everything shut down.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had this plan that we wanted to explore living here for an extended period of time, even before COVID. So COVID hit, and I had the can't handle being here, that whole bug, here meaning back in Canada. Or just needing to travel, needing to get out, needing to not be in the winter and not be in this.
And it was heavy, let's be honest.
Yeah, super heavy. The energy every day, I was just I can't be here. I feel I was sinking.
So we left. So everything shut down on the 12th. We actually left Canada April 1st.
Wow, so you had the opposite experience that we did.
Yeah, we left, we had not come here first, we just left.
You just left.
Left. But it wasn't because of COVID, right?
Right.
We just had this plan that we wanted to travel, show our daughter a different experience, and avoid, not that we avoided the winter much because we got through it, but we avoided the next one.
Yeah, which was really the bad one too, because that was when you couldn't do anything. And I couldn't handle it. I think it was April of 2021. So last year in April. Oh, I was ready to jump on a plane and just leave regardless of what happened. At that point, Kate and I were okay, no, we seriously have to start planning this.
Yeah. So
we started planning based off of COVID restrictions and stuff like that. What can we do? Based off of where we were at that point, her partner worked construction, so we kind of knew we couldn't leave because he was going to come with us too until the fall. So we planned to come for 3 months. We were going to stay November, December, January, and just give it a go. See what it was like. I kind of had it in my head that I was going to stay.
Yeah.
I really...
And I think that's part of a good plan, right? People who ask me or decide to relocate, they're what should I do? And I think trying it out is definitely probably one of the top things. I don't think everybody has to drop everything like I did, sell everything and leave. I think there are options, and this option is a good one because at least you get your foot wet and you find out if you're going to like it or not.
If you can really do it, because it is a big shift.
Mm-hmm.
Culturally, emotionally, energetically, so many things shift once you're here for longer than really after that 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
After the honeymoon phase.
The honeymoon phase.
Yeah. Of doing all the things, going to all the restaurants, drinking all the coladas that you can drink. Yeah. Okay, so you decide you're here and you have an online business. So that's something that really comes up a lot. You brought your business down here with you, so you can pretty much work
wherever we want. So
that's a really great option.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to drop your information in the description, so if anybody wants to get in touch with you about Wildly Digital, they can. But now you went and added 2 layers. 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not only did they come down with a business, they thought, let's buy a business.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
We bought a restaurant.
Yes, they bought a restaurant. So in the downtown of Sosua, there's a place called the Trio Snack Shack,
Yeah.
which is really in like a corner. Like
Yeah.
you're really in this little pocket area, right? So if you're in Sosua and you're heading out and you're facing Playero, it's right there on that street, right before that.
Yeah.
And what possessed you to do this? Really?
So it started with the owners before us. They opened up Trios in November, like right when we got here.
Oh, okay.
So me being the sales arm of Wildly Digital, I was like, can we work with you? How do we do your marketing? Do you guys need help with stuff? We are an online business firm. We can help you do your marketing, your sales, your customer service, all the things. Oh, I was trying that off. There's Kate trying to call. So I had been talking to them, and Kate is she's really the behind the scenes online execution piece of Wildly Digital. So she's always online. So actually, funny enough, COVID kind of like re-hit, so our flights got changed.
Okay.
So Kate and Cody ended up having to leave beginning of January. I ended up extending my trip for 2 months. And I ended up staying with my boyfriend, which we'll get to. So they ended up leaving, and then she was flipping through Facebook one morning, and we saw that Trios was selling, and we were like, oh my gosh, like, I fell in love with their mac and cheese, like, before we even owned it, and now I'm the mac and cheese queen. Like, when there's a new batch of cheese sauce made, I have to check it for quality control.
Of course. Like, there's always something that has to do quality control.
Always.
Yeah.
So we messaged them. I think we were like one of 7 or 8 other offers.
Oh wow. Okay.
All of this turned around in 5 days. Like, we went from deciding that we were going to buy the restaurant to buying the restaurant in 5 days. Like, it was
that was faster than coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we made all this great planning to get here, and then impulsively bought a restaurant.
As you do.
So it was just like, I ended up writing this really long letter to them, like explaining why we felt we would be the best option, and I don't know, I put my heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
Just like, we can do this. Like, this is what Kate and I had both wanted. Like, what better way to really establish roots in another country is not only moving there, but then also making money for the country, essentially, right? So we dove right in, and then...
Wait, that's layer number 1. So now we're going to add layer number 2. If you haven't noticed Meghan rubbing her belly.
Yes, so I am pregnant. I'm 35 weeks as of today. I found out I was pregnant a week after we bought the restaurant. So it all happened at once. Yeah.
So I think, let's take a moment here and think about this. But I think it's important. I mean, I said to Meghan before we started, like, you're my first pregnant episode. I think you are. I have to think back, but I think you are. And we talked a little bit about it when we first met last week, was, what is it like to be pregnant here? I mean, let's be honest, pregnancy is pregnancy, but you're in a foreign country.
Yeah.
What is health? What has that experience been like?
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's really been a roller coaster. I have taken a very holistic approach with my birthing process. I'm doing a home birth, so I'm going to be doing a water birth at home, which I would have done in Canada as well. I'm not really a hospital person to begin with, but I just wanted a very holistic approach to this whole process, because I'm a very holistic person to begin with. The way that they do things here is very different than Canada. Like, pretty much if you're having a birth here in a hospital, you're getting a C-section. Like, that's how they do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very clinical. And from the conversations I've had with professionals, like I'm working with a doula and a midwife, they are approximately 40 years behind the healthcare that we have in Canada.
For birth?
Really for everything.
Okay.
Specifically for birth as well. The mindset, the mentality, and the service that's provided, like the quality of care, is about 40 years behind.
And it's funny, I mean, you say that, but we experienced the healthcare system this time last year when my husband was hospitalized.
Oh, really?
I have to say.
It was great?
honestly, I don't know that we would have got the same service in Canada.
Huh. Well, and that's, I guess, where, like,
And I think there's some areas they're probably behind, but there's other areas that
they're way further ahead.
well, further ahead or treat differently maybe.
Yeah, and were you at a private clinic?
We were at one of the hospitals in Puerto Plata.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he was admitted to emergency and all the things were done. Like, it was very methodical, but done very well.
Really
Yeah.
That's great.
But I know that I've met a lot of women or new babies that have who choose this route as well.
And that's kind of like the senses that I've gotten as well from a lot of moms in this area, is that there is a birthing center, in Sabaneta, I think it is, and they're pretty advanced. Like that was the other thing that I did look into. I looked into all of my options. I looked into going back to Canada.
Yeah.
Like that pretty much was a no-go because I would have had to get a visa for my partner.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to have that extra layer of stress on top of everything else because obviously I want him here for the birth. So that was kind of like layer number one is, am I having birth here or am I having birth in Canada? So once we move forward with that. Yeah. So then all the healthcare stuff kind of came up. And because I'm a bit of a rebel, I don't have healthcare. So I don't have I didn't do an insurance plan or anything.
Yeah.
I discussed that with my family. They were pretty adamant about it. But like really they're like, because I didn't have healthcare coverage before I was pregnant, I'm not covered for really anything.
Yeah.
Like I get if I would have applied, I would have been a high risk case, which means I would have been paying more money.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't apply for any of the birth stuff because it's an existing condition. So you don't get anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that makes it pretty much pointless.
Yeah.
It would have covered some of the blood work, but the blood work that is one thing. I've gone to the hospitals for blood work and I haven't had to spend any money on it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's been completely covered. My boyfriend lives in just outside of Imbert, which is like an hour and a half from here. And there's a hospital there, and one of my good friends is a nurse there. So like anytime that something goes wrong, or not even something goes wrong, like just routine checkups and stuff like that. In my first trimester, there was one day where I was having fainting spells, so we went to the hospital because like clearly when you're having fainting spells and you're pregnant, it's not a good sign.
Yeah.
So they did all my vitals and everything, and I was treated like a regular Dominican, like no crazy stuff happened. And then for my ultrasounds, I've been going to the clinic here in Cabarete.
Yeah. Excellent.
And they do a great job. It's like 1,500 pesos.
Ooh, can't wait to do a follow-up.
Yeah.
Show this baby up. Don't tell us what you're having. Do you know what you're having?
Yes, I know.
Ooh, don't tell us.
Okay.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Keep it a secret. So, yeah.
Okay, so obviously you've had some great experiences here. What are some of the highlights for you? I mean, besides obviously buying a business and, now you're going to have a baby. Are there things about being here that you're just like, oh, I'm so glad, like, yes.
Yes. Like this morning I had a meeting with my midwife and we're literally at the cafe, Vagamundo's like just around the corner from where we are now.
Yeah.
And she's checking my vitals, checking the baby. We like did a sonograph in the middle of the restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was just so cool. Like it was just so chill.
It wasn't a clinical room with the paper roll.
No, exactly. Yeah, I was like
so funny.
Leaned back on one of their benches and just like, she just did it. She just like, I kind of pulled my underwear down.
Yeah.
And she got the heartbeat and it was just cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. And like, that's the thing that I love about midwifery is the quality of care.
Mm-hmm.
Like working with my doula and the midwife has been such a dream. I feel so supported. I feel like I can ask any question that I have, and they really empower you to be in charge of your birth. Like, there's none of this like doctor stuff. Like, it's just very. I'm a very spiritual person too, so it's very holistic.
Very aligned.
Mindful.
It's very aligned. Yeah,
very aligned.
So tell me, like, there has to be some challenges though since you've been here, like things that you're like, I call them the really moments. Really. Really?
So
how many? Okay. Do you have any top ones?
Yes.
Okay, go.
Car that we bought.
You bought a car.
We bought a car. So this was like right after we bought the restaurant, I had a little bit of extra money left over from the investment, and I was like, I was living at Sam's place at that point. Well, my partner, which is like an hour and a half from here, so we had to bus to the restaurant.
Oh, that's a bit of a schlep.
Yeah, that was an experience. That's like, it was like 2 hours, twice a day of public transit in the Dominican.
And let's be honest, the public transit is not like a big city in Canada.
No.
It's what they call a guagua or a bus.
Yeah.
You know, that.
Yeah, and like half the time there's air conditioning, half the time there isn't. First thing in the morning, especially coming through Puerto Plata, because we would have to go from the mountains through Puerto Plata to get here. Oh my goodness, the amount of people, and like trying to go from the more bus style guagua to like literally a small guaguas going through Puerto Plata and then all the way to Sosua in one of those.
Okay, so we got a car.
Yeah, and this car, I spent 60,000 pesos on it, so that's about 1,500 Canadian.
Yeah.
The windows have, like, the one window has like a roll up thing. The other one had a screwdriver to roll up the window. You could.
Okay, but you paid $1,500.
I paid $1,500, so I got what I was expecting.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was like we were going for like a nice car. Like, this was just let's get us from point A to point B.
Okay.
But I really didn't expect so many problems with this car. Like, the amount of times it broke down in the first month of us having it, I called it the devil car. Like,
so you have to do your research here when you're going to get a car.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and work with somebody who, like most of the mechanics will find cars for you.
Yes.
And let them.
Yes, absolutely.
Like 100%. And I know that now.
I'm not laughing. But I've heard so many horror stories. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so the car. What other really moments do you have? Like, really?
Yeah. The one nice thing is that the Dominicans are really helpful. So anytime that something goes wrong, Dominicans will always come to your aid, which is great.
Yes.
I think the other thing was the apartment that we are in currently.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So when I moved to, because I had to go home to pack up all my stuff and like move back here. So we moved to Cab, and we were living in the Cayenne on Cayenne 5.
Okay. Which is a Dominican area. Cayenne 5. Yeah.
Yeah. That was eye opening.
Yeah.
Living directly with some Dominicans, some expats. Like, it was a mixture of both.
It's a budget-friendly area. For an expat. Definitely, yeah.
But it wasn't doing it. Like, it was too small. I felt like my business partner and I were like living on top of each other. Way too many dogs. I have a dog here too that I brought from Canada. So all the street dogs mixing with a Canadian dog, it did not go well.
Okay.
No fights or anything, but just Elsa was uncomfortable. That's my dog's name.
Mm-hmm.
She would be scared to go outside. And she's not a small dog. She's a German Shepherd. Like, she's big. She's like 110 pounds. So all the other dogs were scared of her, but she was also scared of them. So just really uneasy. So then we decided to move to Sosua.
Yes, I went. And your place?
Yeah.
I actually looked at it for clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It is.
We lucked out.
You lucked out because it was at a really good price too.
Mm-hmm. Really good price.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So, which leads me to say there are places out there. You just have to look for them.
You do.
And be open, right?
And be open. And be patient. Like, know exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like, don't just go in of like expecting to get all the amenities up front. You might have to compromise and get something that you don't totally love, which was us living in the Cayenne, to then be able to be here and call numbers on buildings and stuff like that, because not everything is posted if you're trying to do this from Canada or from another country.
Or if you hire a relocation concierge.
Or if you hire a relocation concierge, which is what the whole purpose is of. But the nice thing is that at least working with you do the calling around here for them.
Well, exactly, and I go do the visiting, and I scout out basically what is available, and you know, it's important to know that, you know, if you have a champagne budget, you can have champagne and amenities, but if you have a beer budget,
you're getting beer amenities.
You're getting beer amenities, so
and cockroaches.
You might get a couple of those,
Yeah, every once in a while.
But we've But we've lived here and we live in a gated community. We've had a couple, but we had the big ones, you know, and I think they've just flown in, like the doors open and they just kind of.
And you're on the ground floor too, so
Yeah.
you're right. Like they do come up through the drains too sometimes.
Yeah, we've seen like one or two, but nothing that
Nothing.
alarming.
No.
Any other really moments?
Yeah, so I'm getting there with the place we're living at now.
Oh yes, go tell me.
So we moved in, and then about a month later, we found out that the property manager that we had purchased through had not been giving our rent to the landlord, and the landlord didn't know that we were living there.
Oh,
Yeah. So that was fun.
so okay.
So I had this panic moment at the restaurant one day where I was like, oh my God, I'm 6 months pregnant. Am I going to get kicked out of my house?
Yeah.
Like, and you hear these stories.
Okay, so hold on. Without naming names, the person you rented from was not the owner of the building?
No, he was a property manager.
Oh, shite.
Yeah.
Is he still the property manager?
No.
No, he is not.
He is not. So the owner actually ended up coming down here, expecting to stay in our apartment because she didn't know that it was rented, to come to a fully rented house. Like, can you imagine that? Like, it was.
I don't even know what to say.
It was crazy. It was like my brain exploded. Like, is this actually happening right now? And the woman, like the poor woman, was like going through it as well because she's in the same boat, had no idea.
Oh, wow.
Fast forward, everything worked out really well.
Okay.
She's an awesome landlord. She's a great woman, super sweet, super genuine. It all turned out for the best, but it was a panic moment for sure. Like, it was like are you serious? This can happen?
You can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't make this stuff up. Like,
Okay.
crazy.
I can. I feel like we could talk for a long time, but
Yeah.
do you have any like words of wisdom? Like somebody's deciding they want to do what we did, what you did.
Yep.
What do you recommend? What do you think that they should do to make sure that, you know, at least they get their foot, you know, the right foot forward?
Have an open mind.
Okay.
Like, really be open to every experience that's coming your way and be ready to be humbled. Like, really humbled.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, because we do come from a very rich country in terms of like resources and but when you come here, there are things that are eye-opening and humbling. Absolutely.
yeah, you can't expect to be living the same way that you were living in Canada.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist.
And if you want to, though, you have to be prepared to pay for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
we started in Casa Linda too. That's where we first rented.
Okay.
So going from Casa Linda to then, and like, because we had all like, we paid for that first 3 months, and then
said no.
No, we're gonna do it.
It took me a lot longer to get there, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and we had the champagne budget when we first came for those 3 months.
Yeah.
But then when those 3 months were over,
We got to move on to the
you're still
the mid wine budget.
exactly. And like, you're still paying for everything in Canada. Stuff doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Right away if you're coming down here to explore it that way. If you're doing it and you're just moving down here permanently.
Because at the end of the day, for me, it's if you're going to relocate for 2 months, 3 months, it's fine. But you also have to know that you have to balance it all out. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want to get in touch with you, Wildly Digital. And if you are thinking of relocating and you're just really not sure where to start, there's 2 options right now. One, you can book a free call with me, so you can click in the Calendly link in the description, or you can go check out my new online course I just dropped this week. 7 tips to be relocation ready. It's at a very reasonable price. And I'll put that link in the description as well. And it's really about highlighting those things that you need to consider when you are going to make a move to relocate. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and when you guys are here, make sure you come and
Yes.
have some food from Trios.
Yes, you got to come to Trios. We're going to come back. I'm going to come with my daughter because you have swings. They'll keep her busy.
We do have swings.
You have swings in the middle of Sosua. So whatever you choose to do today, have an incredible day, everybody, and we'll see you soon in the next episode. Bye for now.